Squid joined the everlasting, humongous list of UK rock acts that are herky-jerky, creatively weird, dare I say, experimental, who are just getting huge cult followings through their very, very unique styles. From the UK, obviously, from the UK. I don't know if I said that part already, but they are all UK based and they are all blowing up all at the same time. And they clearly have their influences, post-punk from the late 70s, 80s, rock music in general, all kinds of genres really kind of get blended and fused together in bands that, you know, are doing this style at the moment. You've got Black Midi, you've got Black Country New Road, even Shame, I guess you could throw in this list. I've even seen this dubbed as post-Brexit rock. Post-Brexit rock. I don't know if I ever want to hear that term again, but I kind of find it hilarious at the same time. Not exactly linked to Brexit in terms of the music that they've put out at all, but of course they have all blown up post-Brexit UK, which yeah, maybe history will link these things together, these bands and this time period in the UK together. Or maybe it'll just be laughed off. And I've got to say, I'm not here to throw in any hot takes. I've been enjoying these bands, honestly. Two of my favourite albums of the year so far have come from these bands. Black Country New Road and Shame. Although they're doing things very differently and they're not really exactly, you know, word for word similar in their styles, but they're obviously, you know, pulling from eras that are similar. And they're kind of just getting branched together a little bit now. For better or for worse, I mean, Squid, here we are with their debut album here, been around, kicking around for a few years now. Not exactly in the same league as some of these other bands. They're not, you know, exactly the same in terms of how they sound, but they are still channeling that energy that I think a lot of people are drawn to at the moment. They're not mainstream by any means, and they're probably never going to be, let's be honest. I mean, in a world where Catfish headline festivals, I don't think we're going to see Squid topping any charts anytime soon. But you know what? Again, like I say, not here to throw in any hot takes. I'm enjoying Squid. I think they're a lot of fun. I think this album is really, really energetic, playful, herky-jerky, as I've already said, in all the right ways. The album is kicked off with, well, a little introduction track, which I don't really count because nothing really happens. But the album kicks off with GSK. A groovy rhythm coming through on this one. It's speeding along. You've got the instantaneously catchy, expressive vocals coming from this frontman. It reminds me actually of something that, you know, you'd hear from Everything Everything. Not in the way that Everything do their vocals, you know, because obviously they tend to reach into a very high falsetto. The Squid vocalist doesn't do that here, but it's just how animated they both are. They just have this instantaneous, infectious personality coming through that isn't usually replicated in many other bands. One thing you tend to find is most vocalists sound like someone else, or most vocalists are a bit, you know, tame, maybe could amp up the energy a little bit. And immediately you get that from Squid, and you immediately get that from a band like Everything. Narrator is a big moment on the album because this was the main single that they released for the album. This was the first one. The moment I heard this, I was hyped for this debut album here because this track is just so bloody good. The whole like narrator shtick going on is just really bizarre and strange, but it's quirky enough to keep me entertained. It's a baffling song in all the right ways. The way it builds is fantastic too. The vocals coming through here are as manic as they possibly could get, and the feature vocalist as well is just wailing and squealing and absolutely just letting it all out. She just goes insane towards the end of this track, and you know, the Squid singer pretty much matches her as well. It descends into chaotic wildness that I just am in awe of, and a few tracks do this actually, but none of them come to the heights of what Narrator achieves. I think this track is just absolutely phenomenal, and I'm pretty convinced it will be making my songs list by the end of 2021. I can't imagine this not being there somewhere in my top 50. It's just so impactful and so good. Boy Racer is probably the start of where this album starts to show its cracks, maybe show its true colours in the way that some of these songs do falter in similar ways, because I think everything up until like the 4-5-ish minute mark is really stellar. It's lively, it's fun, it's catchy as hell. It just channels everything you want from like a post-punk song, a classic post-punk song with a weird, you know, Devo type singer or whatever you want to call it. There are moments actually that do sound a lot like the band Devo, so, you know, maybe they are channeling Devo in some places. And then just that random detour into weird nothingness for like 3 minutes. I think it's even longer than 3 minutes. I think I'm being conservative by, you know, saying 3 minutes. I think it's like beyond that, maybe even 4 minutes. And I'm just not sure what is going on here. I'm pretty much ready to hit the skip button by this point. And not every track does this, but Global Groove is a similar kind of underwhelming sigh, where the energy that they sort of build up on some of the other tracks just dissipates on this one. And I'm just not really getting much from what's going on. It just doesn't maintain my interest. That's as simple as it can get, really. This track just does not keep me hooked and entertained and, you know, bouncing around just like all the other bizarre tracks do. So yeah, there's a lot to praise here, but I do think some of these tracks just kind of falter in weird ways that I think they could have avoided. Because a track like Peel Street, for example, just has this rollicking rhythm. This is probably like the most kind of in-your-face, up-tempo track on the whole thing. This track is really stellar, I think, and you know, the vocals, once again, just really coming through in such a unique way that it's hard to really, like critique this guy as a singer. He just has every weird yelpy-ism that comes through that you could possibly imagine, and he just manages to find ways to emphasize specific words in such a strange way, but it's so fun. Paddling is a really good track too. Reminds me of a band like Ought. They're a really good band, actually. Really deserve more props than they get, particularly for their 2015 album, I think it was. 2015, yeah. Just that sarcastic energy coming through in the vocals here. Really enjoyed the way he approaches the song in such like a humorous, cynical way. It's a lot of fun. It does once again follow a similar pattern that, you know, I've said already that Narrator does, where some tracks descend into this chaotic mess. And like I say, as good as it sounds, we've heard it, so it's not that impactful when you hear it again. And Narrator just does it in such a great way that it's hard to really go, oh, actually Paddling is on that same level, because I just don't think it is. Documentary Filmmaker has this hilarious little section where he appears to be doing some kind of like sardonic commentary on Easter eggs. Now this is probably my favourite moment on the whole album, just him talking about Easter eggs being cheaper the day after Easter. Man, why did I need this in a song? I don't know why I needed it in a song, but I just did. I just needed this in a song. Like, it's so true. People in the UK know this for a fact. The day after Easter, it's just like the prices drop. It's hilarious. It's so obvious how these companies do it, and you know, you may as well just wait. You may as well just wait. If you want all your Easter eggs, just wait a week later and have Easter on a different day. Honestly, just something about the existence of those lyrics just makes me happy. So happy. And it's a great track in its own right as well anyway. Final track, Pamphlets, kind of combines a few minor issues that I've mentioned throughout some of the other tracks. One, just the length runs on for a bit too long. I think they could have snapped this up to like a tighter runtime, and I think they would have got the job done in a much more convincing way, because once again they hit that kind of madness, dissension right at the end. Not that it sounds bad, this is the thing, like these tracks don't sound bad in what they're doing, it's just like, oh yeah, I keep hearing them do it. But up until that point, I really enjoyed the vocals on this one. Remind me a lot actually of a band like the Dismemberment Plan. Really got something going on there with that band on this track. Not sure why it comes up on this track only, but there's something in that. Maybe it's like the mathiness of everything on this one, which obviously Dismemberment Plan have, you know, always channeled in their music too. Could be something to do with that, I don't know. Let me know if you agree in the comments though, because I do wonder if anyone else thinks that about this one. Again though, quirky, catchy, just really interesting in the way that they approach music. They're really killing it at the moment, honestly. Like, there's really not a huge amount to say about this album that I think you'd look into and critique that much. It's just my own personal experience with this album was what I was sort of coming in at from, you know, from my perspective here. Like, some of these tracks, yeah, run a little long. Boy Racer has that weird section that just doesn't need to be there. They repeat a few things a few too many times. You know, they hammer in the point of what they do a few too many times on these tracks. But it doesn't really take away from the fact that it's actually a really good debut album. And what they're doing at the moment is just really impressive. And I think this could grow on me in the future. I really do. But I think a 7 out of 10 for now is where I'm at. I think Squid are really exciting and just another band that are like bursting in this scene that I think more people should be listening to, and a lot of people are listening to them anyway, but I just think there needs to be something that seeps into like mainstream UK rock in the UK. Mainstream UK rock in the UK? What? Basically, I'd like to hear more of these bands getting more exposure and maybe having an influence on other bands that are rising and making their way through into, you know, the festival lineups. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it, because there needs to be some kind of tide turn, I think, with rock music in the UK. And I think these bands might be the ones to do it. So yeah, really good album, really good stuff. Definitely impressive debut once again from another band in the post-punk realms in the UK. Thank you for watching this review. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for subscribing, because I know you hit that subscribe. I know it. Thank you for watching. Have a good day and goodbye.